Come on up. I've been fishing a lot. Everybody asked, well, have you been fishing? Too much. I fished yesterday. We did a video Saturday, by the way. This is one of my new camera guys, new companies, Opal Images. And he's the one you see on my Facebook. If you haven't been to my Facebook account yet, or Fish in Arizona with Gary Senft on YouTube or whatever, you can go in. I have a group. You can join the group. We're going to make a lot of fun things and give some stuff away and show. I post on there every time I go fishing. I post all about, I know a lot of you guys post on Facebook, but I post on that website what I catch them on, how deep I caught them on, where I caught them, what lake I'm at. So as much as I go, you can write in suggestions. You can write in things you want to know, something else about it. You're feel free to write it in. Send your picture in of your big bass. You could do that too. So let's go back to yesterday. I was up at Roosevelt. We were in that little thunderstorm up there, and boy, the change of weather just changed the bite like that. I mean, that weather, the fish moved out from the fish had been pretty deep. Because last week I was up there night fishing, and I was catching fish at 28 and 35 feet. And they were all nice fish. We had a good night that night. We caught some nice 3-pounders, and I posted that on there. But the fish moved up shallow, and boy, they were hungry. Just from that little rainstorm and that little coolness, the water temperature dropped from 87, 88 degrees down to 82 degrees in the last 2 days up there. That's huge for summertime fishing, the dog days of August and the 1st of September. It makes those fish, start biting. And I think Scooter was at Bartlett too this week, right? Yeah. Was it yesterday? Okay. Yeah. So I was at Roosevelt yesterday. I was at Bartlett on Saturday filming, doing a video, and had a young lady on there, I think around 20 years old, Amber, and never fished before in her life. You got to see this video. Never threw a spinning rod, in fact. Didn't know how to fish, but taught her how to throw a spinning rod, open the bail. She actually caught 4 bass by herself, and she was so happy. I mean, she had never caught a fish. So that was an experience. That will be coming out, I'm sure, within a week. Tomorrow. Okay? Excuse me. Well, we got the source right there. So, tomorrow it'll be coming out. So check that out. And real nice girl. I mean, really nice. Eager to learn how to fish. And she tried so hard. And when we were done for the day, you know what she said? She goes, I didn't know fishing was so hard. She goes, God, don't use your whole arm. Just use your wrist. And I went on her all day long, because she wasn't, oh, I knew somebody else that did that. Don't use your whole arm. It's all in the wrist, Open that bail up, hold the line with your hand, boop, just throw it. Don't think about where you're putting your pole. Just open the bail, cock it back, and just throw it like a baseball. Just phew. And by the end of the day, she got really good, because I think 75% of catching fish is knowing where to throw that lure at. The right rock, the right tree, the right part of the shoreline that sticks out just a little bit more off the shore. I mean, if you have a sandy bank and there's two big rocks out there off that sand, well, guess what? Chances are catching a fish off those rocks is great. Anything that sticks out a little bit further, points, islands, reefs. So you'll have to check that video out and join the group where you're at. We're excited. We have.
What's the website again?
It's Fish in Arizona with Gary Senft. Fishing with Gary Senft. It's on Facebook. You can go into my Facebook account, join it. You can add your stuff to it. I'll be trying out your products on tape, showing all this stuff. So it's growing. But back to Bartlett. Bartlett has been slowing down for about 2 weeks now, and now it's starting to pick back up. We didn't catch many fish that day. We probably caught about 17, 18 fish. It wasn't as good as normal, but I spent a lot of time, and I'm sure Scooter spends that time when he gets people that don't know how to fish, right? You got to teach people how to fish, and you don't catch as many fish because you're trying to teach them that casting and all the things that go with it. And this young girl, she goes, I didn't think it was that hard to fish like this, And I said, well, to do it right, and if you really love fishing, to get better, you need to practice. I mean, to go fishing once in your life or go fishing once a month or once every 2 months, it's, it's like golfing, right? You golfers, my gosh, if you only go out there once a year or once every 6 months because the fees are so much, how are you going to get good? Well, I spent like 3 years and I didn't get good, so that's why I just fish now. So I can hit the ball, but I don't know where it goes, off to the side. But the bited Friday for us was brush hogs, Texas rig brush hogs. They've got some new colors down there in the Bass Pro Shop, down in the brush hog section, the baby brush hogs, and they came out with some really good colors. And it used to be Salt River craw used to always be a good worm for Bartlett, that and red crawler. Well, now Zoom came out with a watermelon orange and some orange flake in their craws and their worms and stuff like that. And oh my gosh, those fish love that. So that's working real well. Of course, we drop shot it. We caught fish on that. But we did get on a topwater bite. And in this show, you're going to see the very first fish I caught was a 3-pounder on a topwater, with amber. So that was exciting. And they're chasing shad. Did you see shad jumping? Yeah, they're starting to chase shad. It's already starting up for the fall because the water temperature dropped. Up there too. It's like 82, 83 degrees. So, boy, if you need to get out or want to get out and catch fish, and I just stayed in the main body of the water. I didn't go to the dam. I just went out, turned to the left towards Rattlesnake, and all the way on both sides going up the lake, and I never went fished past the yellow cliff. So the main body of the lake is good. Lots of fish chasing shad, and I mean, some of them are big. I mean, topwater is fun. Swim baits, drop shot, Texas rig is good. And let's see, we threw, buzzbait's coming on real good right now. Rico's is good right now. Gosh, between those two, that's the most common. You know what I mean? I don't know. Did you try any other kind of topwaters?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
Oh, okay. He's going to talk. Okay, save that for him. All right. So, walking baits. When they're chasing shad, if you throw anything just about white, you'll probably catch them. All right. So let's see. That's Friday. Wednesday, I was there. All right. Do y'all remember when the dinner? I don't think you were here. You might have been here when we gave that trip away to that guy and lady.
Yes.
They finally came back from vacation after a month and a half of going to Mexico and Truman Lake and St. Louis and Arkansas and oh my gosh, everywhere. It's like I finally waited for them. Mexico. They finally came back, and she was going to have surgery on her shoulder on Friday. We were there on Wednesday. So we had to start the whole learning process all over again. She used her arm like this, and she was throwing it up on the bank a lot, so I had to keep moving back further on the lake, further back. And I usually do that once you hit the land so much. So we got that down, and every time she got a bite, the poor lady just couldn't set the hook because her arm hurt. She had some torn ligaments and stuff in there, and that's what she's having. I tried to get her to fish left-handed, but she just couldn't do it. But her boyfriend, who owns Sun Valley Fiberglass here in Mesa, he came along, and little did I know, he fished a lot. He was born in St. Louis, so he was always all those lakes there. So he knew what he was doing. And I gave him a crankbait, same color you gave me, but not the new one. I gave him an old one. So, and that thing was on fire. It's a little Norman, deep end. It's got the little sprinkles of green on the top. I think they're green or blue, right? Green. And that's another thing about crankbaits at Bartlett. They love those little dots and sprinkles on these little crankbaits at Bartlett Lake, between the orange and the green. So that was on fire. He caught 10 on that, and he was, 7 up on me, and I was working with her, so that was really good. They're bragging he's beating the pro, and it's like, I love that because, it makes them feel good, and they're having a good time. And the girlfriend, she goes, well, when he starts really fishing, he's going to catch you fast. So I didn't fish for a while, and I was just kind of pilling around with her and fishing 40 feet deep, throwing it the other way, on purpose and stuff. I fished, but it was the wrong way. The fish have actually moved up at Bartlett too, so they're anywhere from 2 feet to 20 feet, you know. And I think the thermocline's right around 23, 24, 25, because the week before I fished a tournament up there and I actually cashed a check. About time, you know, it's been a couple of months. So I got 5th place. So James and I actually fished that one together, didn't we? We caught a lot of fish, didn't we, James? We caught a lot of fish that night. In fact, I made a rule with James. Whoever's catching the fish, whether it's me or him, the guy that isn't catching them sits in the back and calls. Did you fish much that night? No. I think there was a period there where I got into a school of fish and it was just one out, every one down there, you know, but they were all the same size. It was hard calling, wasn't it? I mean, it was like a 1/2 ounce or 2/10 or 5/10 or whatever, but we worked hard on that tournament, didn't we, all night long? We caught fish from the time we started till the time we quit, you know. I lost one good 3-pounder. I had a 333 as my big fish, and then I lost another one coming up. So that happens. It's been happening too much for me lately in these tournaments, but finally, you know, they start staying on. So other than that, you know, between Bartlett and I was doing Saguaro last month and for 3 or 4 weeks there, and I haven't been back there since our guy almost ran me over on a wakeboard boat. No. So that's a rough lake to fish. So I think I'm going to try, we're going to go to Roosevelt, maybe next, Apache, and then I want to try Canyon Lake. Show some video on Canyon. And I hear Pleasant's getting good. Anybody been to Pleasant? I know you guys don't fish Pleasant because it's lousy. Pleasant is actually getting good. In fact, somebody else is going here pretty quick, right? Okay. All right. Someone was advertising today. I remember that. So I have friends up that have been fishing Pleasant, and that's all they fish. They don't do tournaments, but boy, they've been catching a lot of 2- and 3-pounders, some 4s and 5s, you know, and they're just drop shotting, you know, drop shotting and throwing topwater lures for stripers in the morning, and they're catching largemouth, big largemouth, you know, mixed in with the stripers. So, you know, if you want to have that, and they're jumping and feeding a lot. So you can have a good time if you're going to take the kids or just go out and want to catch stripers and not the largemouth.